just better. And FEARX really want to be in the Rise group. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the other thing that you could look at. It's not going very well. They have chosen second pick here at the same time, so we will have regular blue side, red side as far as right of first selection is concerned. That is very good. I feel like Fifth Games have been doing this over the last couple of days, and that's pretty nice.
A noticing trend.
Yeah. All right.
So if you're BNK,
yeah,
you know, you were able to catch Kanavi a little bit off guard, you know, in the early game. Raptor had a great start there. But maybe you just, like, I don't know, you just draft really defensively, okay? You don't draft to scale because you're going to get blown over, but like you draft to play for mid-game. You know, go for like a Lucian lane for Diable maybe.
Oh,
where you can have some power there. Draft for a little bit of mid-game power. Tank in the top lane for clear. Difficult to dive for Kanavi. You know, something like that. Maybe that's the way to play it, as we'll lose the Nocturne here for Raptor. No jungle bans for Kanavi. You're on the side. I was going to say, the Pantheon has to be banned.
Oh, yes.
As that one will be the first and last jungle ban in the first phase. And Zeka will just lock in the Annie. Simple as that. Diable loves to pick Ezreal whenever he can. This has been true throughout his entire career. And it's safe into dive. It's safe into Annie. They get the Neeko. Good start here.
Yeah, I kind of like this. I was wondering what they were going to pair with it, just because, you know, the Bard isn't... Oh, actually, Bard was available, so they could have gone with that if they would have liked to, but the Karma is not there, which is the obvious one alongside the Ezreal. Instead, it will be the Neeko. This is a pretty powerful lane. But HLE, they can now respond with anything that they want. They can actually just send a bottom lane in if they would like to. Interested to see what Gumayusi does want to play, as Bard Jhin could be the option, which, you know, doesn't exactly excite me, but we'll see what they do want to pair alongside this Bard. It could be the Jhin, though.
They will need a little bit more than just an Annie engage, I think, if they want to play the Jhin. But there's a lot of different champs that Zeus can play for it, so...
It was going to be Jhin.
You knew it.
Yeah.
We thought it might even be Jhin last game, and ultimately, Guma's going to play it here in game 2.
Aurora?
Answer... Yeah, the Aurora, or maybe even if you wanted to play Galio, you could here...
It'd be an interesting one. I feel like Galio is better with a hyper carry in the bottom lane.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a weird situation for the Ezreal, but I think it still pairs well with the Neeko. And maybe he has something else in mind. Could even save until later. He does enjoy Mel. I do not enjoy Mel here. Hwei, kind of a similar idea. When you saw that look on his face and when he went to type something in, that's when I knew something weird was coming. But I thought it was going to be like Mel and not Hwei.
It doesn't feel like a VicLa champion, just from the outset, but I'm ready to be proven wrong, as it does mean that they now have a lot of keep away, right? I know the Neeko just kind of goes against that a little bit. You do want to be going in with the Pop Blossom, but you can use it defensively as well. The thing is, they're staring down the barrel of a Jhin Bard, which is really, really good at playing into these poke-style compositions and finding angles. Tempered Fate can be really, really powerful, and then the follow-up is always there from the Jhin. This could be kind of playing into HLE's hands, is what it kind of looks like to me. But Lee Sin going to be taken away into Fury as well. We are getting rid of junglers.
Maybe a Kha'Zix ban to follow? It's not the greatest Kha'Zix angle here for Hanwha Life eSports, but works decently well with Jhin. Wonder what else they would consider here. You know, the safe top lane Jace is banned. They could ban the Gnar.
Yeah.
If they want to have a counter there for clear.
Maybe just keep banning junglers, but instead the Gnar is going to be taken away.
Let's see what this final ban will be here, because both of these drafts are pretty face up on what the bottom side of the map is trying to do. And the jungle pool is limited a little bit right now, so jungle counterpick actually is a kind of a thing here in these two drafts. You know, like the Trundle is looming, for example, which can be really annoying for Jhin to play into. Ezreal can follow up on. Vi, actually, shockingly, we hadn't mentioned it, still available in this position now, no longer.
Now, what is... Okay, never mind.
Well, we know why you banned the Gnar now.
Yeah, so Kennen is there for Zeus if you would like to play it. That's a Shyvana, as Kanavi might be looking towards the new and improved, almost, pickup here is the Vayne for Zeus. We have seen Keen try it. At first stand, it didn't quite work out. However, we did have Perfect find some success.
Is that Ambessa jungle? Or Ambessa top lane? Ambessa's not been doing a whole lot of winning here in the LCK.
Apart from in the top lane. In the jungle, definitely not. Not looking great at all. But she's been okay in top lane.
So it's cool that you could flex this, but you're not really flexing.
Yeah, and also you're picking it into Renekton.
Yeah.
Which is
I think it's going to be
really
the jungle pick. I think Zeus has something else in mind.
Ambessa Kennen?
Like, both of those picks, or the Kennen and the Vayne can work here, but the Kennen is going to be the opt-in. And this gives the counter pick here to Raptor. I wonder what his game plan is going to be, because there's already a lot of engage here. They can play a lot of keep away in this draft. Oh, Maokai is actually so sick here, to be honest. Like, you just keep the Ambessa and the Kennen away from you and just play through the Ezreal range and set up for Hwei poke. I actually really like this.
Yeah, it does kind of work. It means their mid jungle is kind of not great. But you can play through top lane incredibly effectively, right? This is a bail clear out of what could be a difficult matchup type scenario, and I think he needs to be there. Otherwise, Kennen just runs away with this.
And bottom lane could be quite self-sufficient here for Diable and Kellin, as long as they don't mess it up.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it's Delight's Bard, which is pretty well known at this point. There were some rough games on the way to his Bard career, but Guma obviously playing one of his best champions there in the bottom side, so that 2v2 is going to be really important. And we'll see how VicLa does playing keep away here against the Annie. Hwei has so much range, and we'll see what build he goes for here as well. But the Maokai ultimate seems like, of these 10 champions, like it could be the most game-changing tool that anyone has. But if you mess it up, and you are caught by Kanavi, because guess what? He's gonna be looking to go into your jungle. He's gonna be checking you all the time. He's gonna be saying, "Oh, you don't have your ult yet, or your ult just went down. I'm gonna get on top of you. I'm gonna look to 1v1 you. I'm gonna look to kill you." You have to be careful about that. And as much as the Maokai ultimate is great in team fights and great for this composition, we could just see another snowbally Hanwha Life game where the Maokai playing keep away is only temporary, and eventually they're going to get you.
Yeah, and I think that the draft has only played a little bit into our series thus far, right? I think that HLE really just kind of clobbered them with better positioning and better play in game number 1, and let's just hope that FEARX can wake up and bring us a full series here in game number 2. All right, FEARX fans finding their voices a little bit here in the second game. It's certainly good to see, as they also take down their first ward. Look at that.
Nice.
Not bad. As VicLa, I don't know how many games he's played on the Hwei thus far, but I don't remember too many of them. So I'm interested to see how he's going to perform here in this game number 2.
Kind of associate Hwei with, weirdly, Chovy and Bulldog in LCK. Yep. And not too many other players picked it up outside of when it was first released and was kind of hot for a little bit with some of the safe builds he had back then. I'm going to check VicLa's stats on this because I am also curious about it. It feels good for the draft, but does not feel like a VicLa champion, as you've said multiple times.
Yep. As Blooming Burst, not really going to find the angle here, as Gumayusi not taking too much damage, but same can be said. Double heals being thrown out on both sides.
It's his 12th time playing it. He is 5 wins, 6 losses.
All right, could even things out in theory. As level 2 going to be gained by both of our teams here in the bottom lane. Nothing going to come of it, though, as we can see. Looks like Diable is having a pretty good time thus far. Kellin, not so much, as he takes a lot of damage. Cosmic Binding going a little bit wide here as Delight looking for a meep slap. And Zeus, this is, you know, his signature champion, and it's in Kennen's signature matchup as well. I imagine that this is not going to be a good time for Clear.
No, it's really not. There is a lot of signature champions for Zeus, but this is the electric-y one, the lightning bolt one, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing. It's not his debut champion like the Gnar, which he's had incredible games on, or the Jace that we just saw is shut down the W here.
Yeah, it's just never feeling like a good time. Call the Meek onto the minions, and yeah, Clear just gonna have to weather the storm. He is farming relatively well. This Pyroblast gets a stun onto VicLa.
Hwei has really good wave clear. He has really good range. He has decent burst, but he is very vulnerable, and there's a lot of engage on the side of Hanwha Life eSports. They have the Kennen, obviously, the Ambessa can engage from range, and the follow-up with the Jhin is always going to be there. So VicLa needs to play and position incredibly well, which is what Hwei wants to do, which is why they picked it. But if he messes up even one time in a critical moment, it can be game-losing. As now we're ganking the Renekton.
Yeah, okay.
Swimming caps on.
Let's see whether Clear is going to be able to navigate this one. Minion wave going to be crashing forward. And he wants to get on top of one of them, but it's not going to work out. The slices, the dices don't quite come through. Kanavi has to flash, but he will definitely happily do so. And that is first blood going on through for HLE.
He has teleport. Zeus went cleanse. So, you know, it's not going to be the worst possible situation that Renekton could have ever had, but a very successful dive here on the top side. Clear doesn't flash, actually. Watching this again, you know, the turret aggro onto Zeus first means that there's really nothing he can do here. Kanavi is forced to flash because of the ramp of the turret.
Yep. Would have definitely died if he took that next shot. And, of course, turrets are just really scary this stage of the game. And so understandable. Still making that dive work, you know, like it was level 4, something like that. As VicLa is going to discover Delight. Zeka moving over with stun in hand. They're not going to engage on top of the Hwei this time.
Yeah, it turns out Kanavi doesn't afraid of turrets.
No. He possibly should be more afraid of turrets. However, not in this instance. Certainly playing very well thus far. As Raptor just going to wander past.
Yeah.
And we'll find Kellin.
I'm nearby. Please leave him alone.
Yeah. Delight over here as well. And we'll be leaving. So just back to the laning phase once again. Clear just residing in the reeds.
Yeah, he is. He's just watching his lane be in a bad place.
Yeah.
There. That's quite far away from where I want to be. Got it.
At least gets level 5, as the Shuriken Toss not going to quite connect. Still, Zeus will retain full control. Moves to about 12 CS in the lead as Tibbers comes down. VicLa taking a fair bit of damage here, and Tibbers is just going to usher him out of the lane. And HLE just kind of winning all over the place this
Ready
stage.
for another dive in the top lane? It's been a while. Kanavi's not known for this, so it's quite interesting to see him do it again.
Well, let's see. See if Clear actually uses his flash this time around as he slices, dices, wants to pick up the wave and actually gets a whole bunch of his health back with the Q. Another wave is conga lining in though, and HLE are looking to try and do it again. As Zeus moves past, there's an early flash, and Clear creates the distance in order to keep himself alive, but he is not farming that wave.
Yeah, what's for Dragon? He flashes and loses the wave. Like, he doesn't die, but he might as well have, is what it feels like.
Oh, great Deadly Flourish is going to connect. It's Kellin! Just explodes!
Yikes! Oh, God, Kellin is having a bit of a tough one today, but it's a great punish there from Guma.
Yeah, and Diable was kind of winning in the lane as well, and this is really going to put a dampener on that one. The Drake is at least taken, but that is the only good news here for FEARX.
I don't even know what to say about how this game is going. It is looking like a tragedy, a train wreck. It's all coming up HLE. BNK aren't getting anything, especially not minions in the top lane.
Well, Clear is wanting to try and find an angle here. Zeus with no cleanse available. There is a Dominus here from Clear, so able to use that in order to get a little bit of value. But Zeus is going to pick up this wave and will retain that big lead. Has actually gone Berserker's Grief, so might actually be going for the AD on-hit Kennen. Kind of cute.
Pretty interesting. It's something that he's known for.
Oh, that Cosmic Binding.
Yeah, it's good.
And I didn't even think he was in turret range as well, but the turret also got mad at him.
Yeah, he just was not ready to get his ankles broken there. You never really are you, I suppose?
No.
It's not really something you plan for.
Yeah, you don't opt into broken ankles. Just ask Digon.
Yeah.
Knows all about it. That's all right. Zeka is, you know, you will probably lose the lane as the Annie into the Hwei. He just has a bunch more range. Annie not known for her fantastic laning.
But it just doesn't matter, does it?
Nope.
Because the Annie is really just set up for the rest of the big damage you have elsewhere. Zeka's going to get ulted.
Yeah, ulti does come on through. It's a fair bit of damage here, as Zeka will be down to about 400 health, but just kind of walks it off.
If he can survive until his TP comes back up, he's going to be feeling good. And Kanavi's here. Raptor is a Maokai, so I don't want to speak too soon, but I think he's fine here.
Well, let's see. Nature's Grasp not going to be used. They're just going to try and get control of the wave and give VicLa a decent back.
Yeah, and Zeka's just going to be like, all right, well, I guess I'll catch this. I got TP, no dragon.
Okay, Raptor looking for the angle here. Bramble Smash is going to throw Delight towards his magical journey. And now they're going to try and grab onto Kanavi, but they'd already broken that portion of the root wall, and they will just wander their way out.
Got him, though. He didn't get his cannon.
Hey, there you go. I didn't even notice. What a huge positive.
Yeah, it's a big win for BNK.
Well, there's the grasping more. Zeka taking a fair bit of damage, but does throw a bear back towards VicLa, who has to flash. Just didn't have the cooldowns.
Kanavi was there, so if he gets stunned...
Oh, there it is! Comet picks up the kill! And VicLa just snipes him!
All right, well, that's the range I was talking about.
Flash!
Yeah, he just did not... I guess he just didn't see it coming, as Diable might not see this coming.
Well, I walked towards the trap. There was a lot of stuff there to try and kill this Ezreal.
Kellin, help!
Yeah, Kellin is going to move in. 2 of them, in fact. As Diable is at least able to make it out with his life, but not with his barrier. The heal comes through. Kellin going to have to try and block a few of these. And good footwork there from Diable will avoid the curtain call.
You know, we just have to turn this into a comedy movie for BNK. You know, they gotta stay positive about something.
It's feeling like a dark comedy at this stage. If you're talking about FEARX, though. But let's check this one out from VicLa's perspective.
Can I get him?
Yeah, flashes, and then
die. He literally says die.
And he gets him.
And says Annie no ult there at the end. All right, well, that worked out. He was in very large amounts of danger had he gotten caught by that stun in range of Kanavi's ultimate, and instead he just basically blind snipes Zeka because he knows exactly where he is.
Beautifully played. And HLE still have a decent advantage. But if FEARX can get themselves to a mid-game with any semblance of control, I mean, this composition, like you mentioned, already has a massive amount of range. They can approach if there is setup from HLE. That is what Nature's Grasp kind of gives you. Maokai has always been fantastic at that. Throwing saplings in as well is always a way to get over to areas that would otherwise not be allowed to be coming on through. As okay, here's a public execution onto VicLa. He kind of misses everything and just dies. As now Delight finds one of the Kellins, but not the right one.
So that's what would have happened if he didn't flash the stun last time I was talking about.
Yep.
He didn't have flash, so died this time. As Kanavi was like, just try again.
Oh, Kanavi's also now looking for Kellin as he's looking to steal away the Gromp. Diable and Kellin moving on in. As HLE, they just want to steal this one away, but Raptor does manage to get the smite. Diable looking for some of these Mystic shots, does manage to find them. As Captive Audience hits a clone. Zeka is spending some time here in this mid lane with VicLa walking his way back, but will be able to get a plate or two.
Clear decides he's going to go top lane here. And I think they have enough control over the Drake to where this should go over to Raptor. And now that's going to be a 2 Drake lead here for BNK. So that's in the positives column. It's hard to call it a column right now. It's just kind of a single item list, but
yeah,
they do have that. It is Cloud Soul, so that's pretty good for their composition as well.
Yeah.
Good to deny from HLE, I would also say.
Oh my goodness, that was a lot of burst damage. As Gumayusi looks at Diable, and Diable has to kind of leave. True Shot Barrage, though, is going to at least offer a little bit back. And Diable still has a 15 CS lead, feeling pretty good on the Ezreal despite the slight gold deficit.
All right, well, you know, see what Delight can get done here.
Yeah, Tempered Fate going to be avoided here as VicLa runs fast on that ground that he created. There is a Tibbers down as VicLa gets half of his health bar removed, but it's not going to be a true engage here from HLE.
This is a very, very tricky fight for BNK to continue to force. I mean, even with Raptor's ultimate, I think they should just play this cautiously. The lead is not as big as maybe BNK think it is right now. It's only 1,800. It's just that they have a huge deficit in the top lane.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, Clear is basically not playing the game and maybe will never play the game here, but don't throw everything else away right on this scrappy skirmish, BNK, or the game is truly lost. I think they're realizing that as VicLa picks up even more gold, killing Tibbers. And they're going to control a lot of space. There's no dragon up.
Oh, Zeus finds the stun onto Clear. And with all this attack speed, this Kennen really is able to stack up those marks of the Storm. And looking for another plate as well. He'll be able to find it. As at least Clear does complete his quest. There you go.
When you go for AD Kennen and you're on this island in the top lane, it feels really good when you're playing into a champion like Renekton, where you're just like, all right, well, I just keep hitting you. I don't even need to press buttons. I'm going to continue to harass you. If you try to come at me, I'll use my buttons to keep you at bay and then keep hitting you. It's very annoying if you're Clear, and there's just so much on the bottom side of the map that needs attention to where Raptor can't really patch this hole on the top side. So I think this is a great build, a great adaptation here from Zeus. Picks up the Kraken Slayer. You know, we saw players like Rich loving the Gunblade in this matchup, but he is just changing that narrative. So we have a TP here from the Kennen.
Yeah, Clear actually looking to try and get on top of Zeka, and then immediately dices away. Does manage to get the ulti off, but he's still extraordinarily dead. And Zeus turning up in the nick of time.
Didn't even, maybe it was on cooldown, just didn't even clear that big wave. Yeah, very bizarre. He like walked up to clear it and then just didn't press Q.
Yeah, probably wanted to.
It's very strange looking.
Was not allowed as Deadly Flourish connects as Gumayusi finds a fourth bullet for Diable. Doesn't have too much after that though.
All right, well that's another big win and at a relatively low cost because Zeka's up here to answer the pushing Hwei. And this looks like it's going to be first brick here for HLE. Just no one to answer, no response whatsoever. And VicLa is going to be met by Delight pretty soon.
Tempered Fate is going to hold him in position. Spiraling Despair does come down as there's the Pop Blossom, connects onto two. The Nature's Grasp comes down at the same time as the Bramble Smash is going to clear up the Annie. Still, they do manage to take down the turret, but there is the snipe from VicLa once again to lock down the kill.
I apologize for not being familiar with VicLa's Hwei abilities in his champion pool. Again, not the greatest win rate on it, not too many games played, but he's looking very confident in the game so far. And that was a really good bait there in the top side of the map as, you know, Raptor and Kellin were lurking. And they just outnumber them and end up getting win back. They do not get the turret, but should be able to put some pressure on it afterwards. So Raptor is on the wraparound here, but also critically Kellin on the top side, unseen.
Yeah.
Heralded live.
And Raptor actually flashed in order to get in there as well, not wanting to walk around, wanting to get the best angle for the Nature's Grasp, and that's a really, really nice snipe. Unfortunately, walking the wrong direction was Delight, as the Rift Herald loses interest in the battle, as FEARX will be able to pick her up once again. Raptor will be able to get on in there. Kanavi, will he be able to get the smite? There it is, Raptor smited early, and Kanavi just steals it away. The eye probably won't be picked up, but that means that Shelly is just not going to be gracing us with her presence as Delight goes in, the magical journey, and there she is.
Just barred things. And the news doesn't get better here for BNK.
Yeah, could something go right for this team? That's the question. And I think the answer might be no, as Zeka throwing fireballs at this crocodile.
They're looking for their second turret of the game. This is just a really hard time right now for BNK. Two-Dragon lead might lead to Soul Point here because they have a lot of control over the bottom side of the map right now, but it means they're going to have to kill Zeus, who has Cleanse and Flash and ult, and he's Kennen. So he could buy a lot of time here, in fact, for Kanavi to come over and contest. The Dragon spawns in 8, and it almost just feels like BNK don't have the opportunity to even get a Dragon secure off of this. So they don't have TP for Clear. He's heading over, so you're going to have a big 5v5 fight. Let's see how they play this, because this is where their comp can shine. Yeah. With this Maokai especially to buy space.
Yeah, holding position is certainly something that this composition can do, but if they get engaged on, it can be really, really rough, and Shelly's going to get involved as well. Tempered Fate deals with the Dragon for the moment, as now the Pop Blossom onto 2 is going to come on down. The Public Execution is not going to do anything at all, as it's Diable that locks that one down, but Kellin is dead at the same time. Clear also getting in amongst it as Zeus looks for the ulti and tries to find these autos at the same time, but he'll get smashed back into the enemy team and taken out. A gorgeous team fight as it's only Gumayusi left alive, and that may not be the case for much longer as Diable, he will get distracted by the minion wave, but now he's at 3-0-1 Ezreal.
Yeah, and this turret will survive despite the Herald coming through there from Delight. So we're going to go back to the steal. This is... Okay, hold on.
I like how he's being quiet, even though they in different comms.
He's like, got it. Nice. I was hoping we were going to see Delight go in for the steal, but in this fight here, Zeus is on the flank, but he's AD Kennen, so his damage isn't really there, but he hesitates so long. Kellen's the one who pulls the trigger first, and even though it's a really cool turn here from Kanavi to try to maybe get something out of this, he goes down instantly, and Clear ends up doing a lot of work here. Zeus flashes to try to get the kill on him, and he is successful, but now he's behind enemy lines here. His ult does no damage, and Guma, you know, I guess I'll say the thing, yeah. He's Jhin, so, you know, it's a bit of a Bart line for me this tournament, but, you know, it's factual. Like, he hasn't died yet. He's far away from all the action, but he is Jhin, and so he can't fix that. The gold lead has all but evaporated now, and it's still only really this AD Kennen who's the major player here for Hanwha Life eSports, and I don't know if that's going to hold water in further team fights, especially because BNK now have sole point, and this game suddenly got a lot more interesting.
Yeah, the fact that he is AD Kennen means that this lead is nowhere near as impactful, as you say. Certainly in side lanes, it's a scary thing.
It's not a team fighting Kennen, though.
No, it's not. As Delight will be able to avoid the big boom boom that VicLa was about to dish out.
And Hanwha Life have kind of been the team that wins the game before team fights are that important. You know, they've been all about just win the game early. They can't team fight us because we're 6,000 gold ahead, so we just kind of look at them and they die. Now they kind of have to finesse this one, as Kellin will avoid the ult.
Yeah, it does use his dash cannon in order to get out of the way of that one. Proto Belt high value, as they've got two of them. Just kind of the meta at the moment, as Zeka will be able to find a fair bit of damage towards VicLa, but then needs to run away with that Molten Shield movement speed.
I've been converted. I think the Rocket Belt is pretty strong. I think it's pretty sick. I think it's super stat efficient, and VicLa is going to be a little bit healthier because of it. Has a little bit more cooldowns because of it. I'll see how we can use it outside of dueling and Annie.
Well, that is going to be a decent grasping maw, but does not quite find much else. So no Q, nothing much more. So VicLa will be able to back away now. Another minion wave is coming on in. But the gold lead is just slowly slipping away for HLE. And this is the problematic part, right? They had a very good early game. This is something, I mean, I'm going to sound like a broken record, I think.
I mean, we all do, right? It just keeps happening. Like,
yeah,
it's not your fault. It's not my fault. Is it like Hanwha's fault? I don't know, because they keep winning with it, so maybe they just keep the pattern going?
Maybe we could find different ways of saying exactly the same thing. I know that's kind of our job. But we're going to need some more variants.
By the way, Zeus went Hexplate.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, it means you can press ultimate more often.
It doesn't hurt them, but if it holds them in place, maybe that's enough.
Yeah. I mean, it's good CC.
It's decent damage stats-wise, I guess, as well.
Yeah, just going for the base damage there, I guess. But, I mean, Clear is still going to have a really bad time, because Zeus using that as self-peel is certainly what he wants to be doing here in a side lane on this Kennen. Yeah, Clear just cannot play the game.
No, he's not really doing it, but the other, you know, damage threats here are so far for BNK, so maybe it doesn't necessarily matter, because if Zeus makes the same impact in this team fight, 3,000 gold ahead because he can't team fight that well without AP, then maybe it just doesn't matter, and we're looking at a 2,500 gold lead for BNK on their carries that is more relevant than the 3,000 gold lead the Kennen has. That's what that last team fight really said to me that we had around the Dragon. We're potentially going to have a soul fight here in about 45 seconds. Clear has teleport this time. He is a level down, which is really unfortunate for him. But I mean, the Maokai is on 2 items. This is a really key moment here for BNK to solidify their lead, grab that soul, and just continue to win team fights from here on out.
Yeah, and if they get Cloud Soul as well, I mean, it's massive self-peel ability.
Yeah, it's good for the Renekton.
Yeah, it gives Clear the ability to go in, but also just gives the rest of the team the ability to get out if they need to. They're going to be running real fast on the Rift. Still, 10 seconds until that Cloud Soul does come up, and Raptor is somewhat caught out.
There's that TP from Clear. He buys an item.
Yeah. The saplings are doing a fair bit of work. As you can see there, Raptor lands one, and Kanavi taking a lot of damage. Finds another one as well. He's going to have his health bar halved
Clear's just going to zone Zeus away, and Zeus can kill him on the 1v1, but it'll take a while. So he's just like, all I have to do is be near you, and your 3,000 gold lead means nothing.
Well, Tempered Fate is going to be able to catch the Ezreal, but he does manage to buffer the ulti. Speaking of which, in goes Kanavi, looks for his angle, steals away the dragon as Kellin tries to stay alive, but it's not going to quite work out. That's a beautiful shot from Gumayusi, and now into the backline goes Zeus. Clear wiping them out, though, as he picks up the double on the Renekton. It's the revenge of Clear as FEARX pick up the ace.
Huge win here for BNK. Very classic Kanavi to go all the way in, gets the steal, which denies the objective, but their gold lead is gone now, and it's a team fight win for BNK, and suddenly this Renekton is actually a little bit more relevant in this game. Diable still deathless. They could not kill the Ezreal. Amazing shot there from Guma, but it's just not a team fight winning shot, right? And they did get the objective, right? But it gets harder and harder to team fight, I feel, from here for this composition, as we'll watch Kanavi again make magic happen as he is able to use this to get through the Maokai ultimate and then wins the smite fight with the help of Guma, because that's just what Guma does. He dies, and then you watch it from this perspective, he goes down, but Kellin is in the front line here denying Zeka entry, so he's not really using his CC onto Diable, right? Diable is totally untouched. Clear is not being CC'd by anybody. Zeus has already used all of his buttons, and he's just a rat who's pretending to be an AD carry. Diable's the real carry, and
there was a Jhin going melee into a Renekton, which was not necessarily what he wants to do, as VicLa trying to get himself out of here, and in fact tries to go back in, finds so much damage onto Delight, who has to self-ulti and then immediately gets taken out by this Ezreal. Diable has, by the way, a 700 gold bounty on his head. He's 6-0-3.
He's got 3 items. Doesn't even have his Endless Hunger. He went for Shojin's third.
All right, well, Kanavi looking to try and do it again, as there's the curtain call one more time. The flash from Clear to deny Zeka the entry, and they're going to be able to take him out. It's a double for Diable. He's legendary in this game, and there is that young prodigy that we wanted to see. And 3 on the floor for HLE, and FEARX are looking to make this a 3-gamer.
BNK said no flips. Absolutely not this time, as Zeus is trying to get this turret and get out, and he almost gets away with it, but Baron goes to BNK. They get on top of Zeka, who's flashless, so the flash commit there from Clear, absolutely worth it. Great tracking of the summoner spells. We're gonna go all the way back here to Delight's attempted collapse onto VicLa. He gets the speed up here, and then turns this one around. Delight tries to peel, and they get the Maokai ultimate, which is actually kind of a big win here, but they're without their Bard ultimate. The Bard ultimate here could have denied or delayed this so that they could play this slower. Don't have it. They don't have their Bard, and Clear just destroys the enemy mid laner. Kanavi is also trying to go in for the steal, and he gets blown up before we're anywhere near smite range.
And another bit of an unsung hero is Raptor, who is stealing away Raptors, exactly his favorite thing to do in the game. But 1-1 and 11 on this Maokai. Remember, there were so many jungle bans thrown his way, and this Maokai has looked fantastic. They're now 4,000 gold in the lead. Like, the swing is just so HLE.
And it is like, last game we saw exactly 0 team fights, right? Like 0 real 5v5s. When it came to 5v5 fights here with the HLE, we were like, nothing's going BNK's way. The Renekton is not even playing the game. But when we start team fighting, BNK were like, you guys don't seem to be able to do that. We're really good at that.
And they're going to be able to take down the turret. Okay, this is a big teleport play from Zeus. As the Tempered Fate goes wide, FEARX just holding position, as I don't know about that one, Delight. That was not what he really wanted, as Pop Blossom gonna connect as they look for Kanavi. He's held in place by the Nature's Grasp, and there is the Crocodile once again, destroying this Annie, as Gumayusi is just, you know, he's still in base trying to defend, things like that, but there is just nothing he can do. I don't even know whether it's Jin's fault, as Diable just eviscerates him. And it's just the Kennen that is left alive. Clear is fighting him right now. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. As Zeus will be able to pick up the kill and gets himself a turret, but that is bounty gold picked up, and that is not the good way that the bounty gold comes on through, because they're looking to try and finish this game right now, as Delight is just so squishy in this game. Kellin is very dead, but he just gets executed, and FEARX with this gigantic Ezreal should be able to just finish off this game and bring us to a game 3. 12-0-4 on Diable in this game as he picks up that double. Zeka coming out of the fountain just to give him even more kills as he's arcane shifting around. Raptor keeps himself alive just for the style points. And the curtains have been called, but unfortunately, not the direction that Jhin wanted them to. As, oh my god, the Mystic Shot does 50% of his health bar. And down goes the Nexus, and we're in for 3 games.
We're in for 3. And it was a great comeback, a great turnaround, great team fighting from BNK.